How's it, everyday heroes? I'm sitting here finally with the triple one from Wayward and Project 60 SA, the infamous Slade van Niekerk. Slade, I saw you today on practice. How did it go with the cold conditions?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, firstly.
No problem.
No, it was a good time, eh? I enjoyed it a lot. The track was definitely far from ideal, obviously with the cold, and we had a bit of drizzle, and it got dark very early with all these rain clouds coming over for
I was freezing and taking some videos of you guys. I had my big jacket on, I got a hoodie on, a t-shirt underneath, and I thank goodness I got this long one now because like my knees were freezing.
No, that's the nice thing at least about the suit and everything. And doing all that moving around on the bike, it keeps you nice and warm. So.
No, I was surprised. You came off, I saw some sweat on your face, and I was like, okay, the boy's been moving on the bike there.
No, for sure. It's you always, no matter how cold it is, you'll come off and you'll be a little bit.
All right, we're going to jump straight into this interview.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to go straight forward, man. Do you remember ever your first ride on a bike? Because I want the viewers to get a good feeling of who Slade van Niekerk is and who Triple One represents.
So the first time I can ever remember riding a bike, I think was in 2012, and it was the last short circuit of the year, and I rode a little basically like a Pee Wee 50 around the pits.
Bike.
Yeah, like something like that. And I rode it around the pits, and I remember that time because I remember I got given 100 Rand from Tony Sterianos because I took everyone's transponders to the control tower on my little little small bike. So I think I was about 6 or 7 years old, somewhere around there. And then so then the first time I rode on the track, like a proper track a bike.
But we'll get there. Don't stress. So I don't know about your first. Don't jump the gun yet. We've got some questions. Don't stress.
Of course.
So that was the first time ever. And like, do you remember like how it made you feel or anything like that, or is it a bit too far back to remember? I mean, how old were you in 2012?
Like I said, I think I was about 7 years old or 8 years old, something like that. And I mean, I got 100 Rand from it, so I was ecstatic. 7 years old with 100 Rand. I was
straight to the tuck shop.
Yeah, I felt like a billionaire, so no complaint.
All right, so look, I mean, as you know, I managed to speak to a few people of your family members, and especially your sister Pagan. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything you gave me. And then I spoke to Trevor as well.
Yeah.
So one of the things they brought up was like, I always want to make some personal stuff, You had a dog called Venus, and apparently you threw a bit of a wobbly because you couldn't walk Venus. What happened after that?
Again, I was about 6 years old. I was a little kid, and little kids are stubborn, and we were taking the dogs for a walk. Now, Venus was a Great Dane, and she was a big Great Dane, and she was very harsh on the leash. So Pagan would not let me walk the dog, and I refused to accept it. I was like, let me walk the dog. And I wouldn't stop, and I think we only got halfway up the road, and she already had enough, so she went, fine, you can walk the dog. And she gave me the leash, and I'm pretty sure Venus turned around and saw me and went, oh, cool.
Sweet.
And she just ran. And there I was hanging on the back, just grinding down the road, hanging on like I was on a jet ski or something.
The best part about it is that my brother Ursa, when he used to do some water skiing, he used to say to us, why didn't you slow down? I said, just let go. And the problem is you never let go because you think the dog or the boat's going to run away from you.
So I don't think a thought in my mind went to let go of it.
We'll bring it back to racing again. Your first race. Do you remember your first race ever?
I do. So my first race ever, the story behind that, we went to PE. This was, I think, October of 2013. We went to PE for my dad to go race because my dad had been racing 150s for a few years beforehand. So we went up there for him to go race. And again, I was on that same little Pee Wee riding around and everything like that. And the NSF 100 series had come down as well. So I was old enough to be able to ride. So Neil Harron, who ran the series, went, why doesn't he come ride? So he went, okay, cool. So I went up and down pit lane, learning how to change gears with Uncle Neil sitting on the back. And Friday, I did my first practice. And Saturday, I raced.
But how did you land up in PM? Because obviously you went there for racing for yourself. So was Dad racing?
Yeah, Dad was racing. So we went up there for him to go race.
Was he racing short circuit or main?
Yeah, short circuit. Okay, so it was on the Cecil Scribanti.
Yeah, cool. That's just out there by the airport. Yeah. So I actually never met them myself, but my mates have all told me how much fun they've had
it's such an amazing track, and it's such a lack of vibe. Everyone in the clubhouse sprying, and we used to all camp there like years back. In the clubhouse, like you'd have all the tents up and all the bikes parked in a line. You'd have some idiot at 5 a.m. starting their bike.
Of course.
Causing cuck. It was good times.
The next question that I've got, obviously, your first race is like, I've heard some rumors about you in school, when you were in school, and apparently the principal opened your locker or something on the lines of that and found a whole bunch of something. What was that about? Can you tell us?
So this is not an admission of anything, but me and my friends, we may or may not have found cutlery just sitting in where all the cutlery sits, and taken that cutlery.
You didn't steal it. You just found things that were.
It didn't leave the school property, so I don't think it counts.
Well, I always say you never stole it. You just found things before they were lost.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. So I had a couple of knives and forks. I think about like 20 of each. And then we also used to find rulers just lying around. And like, obviously these kids are so irresponsible. They can't take care of their rulers. So you have to teach them a lesson, you know? You can't tell them because they're not going to listen. So maybe I had a couple of rulers in there as well.
I'll be honest, I heard this story. I was like, no, I have to bring it up because could you imagine that locker opened? It was probably just like teaspoons and stuff falling out.
And you know, it was so bad because we went on like our term break and I came back for the next term and I opened my locker and it was like all the stuff was gone. And I just went, ooh. And the principal came to me. So he goes, Slade, is this your locker? I was like, yeah. And he goes, like not thinking, I was just like, yeah. And he goes, do you know what we found in there? And I went, no. What are you talking about? And he went, interesting. And he just left it at that.
Left it at that. Well, you got lucky with that one.
Yeah,
then,
very.
At my school, my old school, I think we used to have blue books. So they wrote up infringements and stuff. Oh, it was a mess. Oh, no. But the next question I want to ask you, your first win. Do you remember that? What bikes were you on?
So my first win was also on NSF 100s. That was the first round of the 2015 season.
I think I was around then. I was a lot younger. I think I was probably in my early 20s, and I think I actually saw you race for the first time on the little NF. So it was yourself and the other guy. I think I mentioned his name the other day when we were talking. He was the chap who's racing in England at the moment.
Oh, David.
Yeah. Yes.
No. So David was he racing then? I think David was around then. But we weren't like he was still he was
a bit newer. The green overalls, I think.
Yeah, he had the bib and stuff on, so he was still a little bit like he was getting started there. So I think he started a year later than I had. So like he wasn't up there yet. But that first win. So the year before I did it was my first full year on NSF 100s in 2014, and I had a lot of good races and I got second a lot of times. But I used to fall on my millie a lot. I would crash.
Only one way to get faster. You got to fall.
Every Friday, and then you'd go, okay. And then Saturday, I'd be fine. So then the first round of the year, like it was just a case of I showed up and there was an NSF, what the NSF 100s ran under this thingy called SAMRA. So the South African Motor Racing Academy. So they used to hold training camps, and they would hold a training camp at the kart circuit like every December when the 8 hours was running. There'd be the NSF training camp. So in that training camp the year before, in the 2014 one, I learned a lot and I grew a lot as a rider. And then as the season when the season started, like my level from the year before had just taken a jump. So then there was I think it was a perfect weekend. I think I got pole and won all 3 races, and I was like, obviously I was ecstatic. And
that was here at Kalani, hey?
Yeah, at Kalani on the half main.
On half main.
Yeah.
All right, the next question we got here for you is, sister said she took you for a hike once. What happened with that? Apparently you got some heat stroke or something. Where did you guys go?
I think we were in Gansbaai, and on the hottest day, it was like 42 degrees, I think. And on that day, we decided we're going to go for a walk. Is
this also the same weekend when you were the parking assistant as well?
No. That was a different... We'll get to that. But no, so we were in Gansbaai and we went to go just on a walk because we were there with family and we were getting a bit bored. So we were like, okay, we're going to go explore. So we went for a walk and we went there and we came back, and then I just started feeling worse and worse and worse and worse. And next thing I was proper man down. And I remember I was sitting on the couch and my mom had given me 2 MyPads. And I mean, I think I was 13 or 14 then. So 2 MyPads is already like okay, it's quite a bit strong.
It's gonna knock.
And then she forgot, I think, that she gave me 2 MyPads, and then she gave me 2 more MyPads. And I was sitting there, and next thing, everything started moving funny and the world looked funny. And then...
But you didn't feel anything.
Yeah, then I felt great. I felt
great.
Amazing. But yeah.
So the next one is like, I always hate asking bike riders this, but I always have to bring up crashes or falls? I mean, have you had any bad ones with this girl behind you? And have you had any like with 150s, like
150s and crashes is like they have to go together. Everyone has a bad 150 story. So I've had a couple. I'd say the worst in terms of injury on the 150 was probably 2 years ago. A week before the final main circuit race of the year. And it was also like that. It was super, super close in the championship. So like I needed to be like ready for that. On the week before, I went to ride the 150 on half main, and I high-sided myself so proper, and I fractured my wrist. Like,
out of which one? Out of turn 2 or turn 3?
No, it was so
or
on the
bus
half
stop or
on the half main in the cut through. So like the exit of
which was bus stop or car
between
park?
turn 1 and turn 3. That
Okay.
little like link road.
Yeah.
I came out of there I tipped into there, and as I flicked the bike over, the rear just came out and it hooked and it just sent me flying. And I remember being in the air, like, and everything slowed down, and I remember looking, going, that's where I'm gonna land. That's really far away. And I was like, shit, what do I do? Like, what do I pick? What do I hurt? And I just went, okay, I'm just gonna stick my hand out, and my wrist immediately just
Snap.
So I fractured my wrist. So I spent a week with I had a little like brace on. I didn't have the cast. We just had the brace, and I was in a hyperbaric chamber every day for like 2 hours. And then we did the next weekend. I raced the 600 on main circuit and won both races and won the championship. So
Alrighto. That's always good to hear. The next question I want to ask is why 111 and not 96?
So 96 is, I still believe 96 is my number. I love that number. Like it's just brought me so much good. But with 96 in the Superbike Championship and on the 600s as well, in that class, there was already someone running the number.
Okay.
So I couldn't just go, hey, I want to use it now, like bye. Because they've been using it for years and years and years and years. So I was like, okay, cool, I respect it, like, of course. So then I had to pick a number, and I didn't know what to run. Like, I was thinking, I was going between them. And then I just decided on 111 because it's the number my dad used when he raced here. So I was like, you know, it's a number that's like in our family, close to all of us. So I was like, and I don't mind the number as well. It looks pretty cool. So
just stuck with that, which is not a bad idea at all. I
exactly.
like it. No, it's a good thing.
It helps me manifest the results for the day.
Yeah.
Just three wins.
I know something your dad probably takes a little pride out of that as well, like looking into you riding around. So well done. That's always awesome, man.
Yeah.
The next question I want to ask is, I think we touched a little bit on the little parking assistant moment. I heard your sister was telling me very much about you reversing cars in, and then a little bit too far, a little bit too close.
She's a liar. Everything that comes out of her mouth is lies. She's just trying to cover up for her horrible driving. I stood on the rock. How can that be I'm standing on the rock going, whoa. How would
she went further.
Yeah, she would have hit me why would I tell her to keep going if she's going to hit me?
And the bottle incident?
She's lying. The bottle incident.
Yeah, on her car.
Which one is this?
Well, there was apparently hit a pothole.
The pothole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that one. Oh, okay, that one was kind of there was the drain cover was gone, and I wanted to park.
Yeah,
the drain cover, there just wasn't a drain cover, so I wanted to park. So I could see the first, because it was 2, and I could see the first one, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll go park there. So I move over, and next thing we just go, bah!
Bam.
And I was like, oh shit.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Your first main circuit race. Where, how?
So that
and what?
Was 2019. It was in the middle of the 2019 season. So I was too young at the beginning of the year to be able to race. Because I think I was only 14 at the time. Something like that. I think I was 14, yeah. So I was too young to do the full season. But then we got special permission from MSA to allow me to go race. So we bought a KTM 390. And we rode it once, and then it broke. And then we fixed it, and we rode it, and it broke. And then we fixed it, and we rode it, and we broke. So now you've heard it broke 3 times already. Then I finally took it out on track after it broke 3 times, and then it broke.
Sounds like you just need to change the K to an A of the KTM, and that's what it needed.
That's literally what the thing was. So then we sold it, and we got rid of it, and then we got a Yamaha R3. And then I think I rode the bike twice.
Difference in the two bikes? Did you prefer the KTM even when it was working,
Well,
or did you prefer the Yummy?
I honestly, I didn't even get to form an opinion on the KTM because I did like 5-6 laps on it, and I'd never ridden Kalani's main circuit before, and I did like 5 laps on the bike, and then it broke. So like it was, I didn't have enough time to even form an opinion. But the R3 was the thing we ran. We didn't touch the motor for 2.5 years because I did a year and a half on it, and then my dad did half a season on it after I jumped up to 650s, and the thing ran beautifully. But that weekend we ran, like I said, I think it was July that year. I was second in the grid in quali, and then I got second for race 1. I was happy with my result in race 1, and then it started raining for race 2. And I was like super ready. I was super like keen. I was like, okay, cool, we'll go. And then I came out of turn 2 on lap 1 and I hit the deck proper. Bah. So I bent the bar down, like the bar like wrapped all the way like this. And I just picked the bike up and I carried on. And I think I still got like 6th or 5th or something like that.
So you went on to the hundreds first, and then from the hundreds you went to 150 juniors.
Yeah.
Then 150 seniors, or no?
Mm-mm. So the juniors and seniors is all just on age.
Okay.
So it was for me to be in seniors at the time, because now the rules around that have changed and the classes have changed. But at the time, for me to race in seniors, I would have to be 19. So you have to be out of school.
Okay. So then what did you do when you jumped from 150s? So you went to 300s on the Yamaha?
Yeah.
And that was main and short,
The first thing I did 150s, and then I rode a 250, a CBR 250 or a CBX 250 around short circuit as well in the clubman's class. And then I got the R3, and we only raced it on main circuit. And then we did do one race with it on the short circuit. So then after that it was a lot of riding or a year and a half on the 300. Then I got onto the 650 through Trevor and Project 60. Trev gave me the bike to race for the year, and then we managed to win the championship first try. And then the next year...
That's on the 650, yeah?
Yeah, on the 650.
I'll stop you before we go to 1,000. We won't talk about just yet. We'll get to the 1,000 cc. People, don't stress. So the next thing I want to ask is, like, there was a certain video that you and your mates put together, and I heard there's been 2 videos on a certain platform that's been removed.
2 videos?
Yeah, I heard it might be 2 videos on the TikTok.
No, it's just the one. Just the one.
You said you got like quite a bit of views off that one. So explain us through that. I mean, I know you guys are playing a bit of silly buggers there.
It was just me, myself in my kitchen. I was so mad. So I made I'd seen it was becoming a bit of a trend where people would like basically waterboard themselves. So I was like, I made this little video like, if you have exams soon and you haven't studied yet, like this is the perfect thing to do. And then I sat in the kitchen with a towel over my face and I threw like a pot. I was pouring water over my face out of this pot, basically waterboarding myself. Horrible experience. I can see why it works. It was terrible. But I was on like 340,000 views or something like that and like 60,000 likes. And then they took my video down.
Got flagged.
For understandable reasons. But like,
flagged.
Just leave it up. I was popping off. I was very sad.
All right, so the next one is your first championship. Well, let's go through all your championships that you've got, because I know there's more than one. Yeah. So let's start with your first one.
So the first one was 2015. That year I got my first race win on the NSF 100s.
How did it feel?
It felt great. I was super happy. We still have the photo somewhere of me. I had this big like shirt on with the one like that we put over my leathers, and I went in and like did the last rounds like that. So that felt it was great. Because I think I was 10 or I was 9 years old or something like that year. So
okay, I
was super happy.
And then you jumped to the 150s?
Then it was 150s. So I won the 150s my 3rd season in. So the first 2 seasons I got very, very close, but like things just didn't work out. So then the 3rd season in 2018, I finally won a 150 championship. Which also then obviously that was just like the relief of getting it done, because I mean I've been so close. I think in 2017 I was 2 points behind or something like that.
Yeah, that's a very competitive class. That's like super competitive. Everyone there.
Yeah, so I mean, and those years there was like riders like Sam Lockhoff who went to go race in Moto America and all over Europe and all that stuff. So they were all racing there. So like it was super, super, super competitive. So like I was very disappointed at the time because I felt like I was better and I'd done the work to win, but it just didn't happen. You know, it was little mistakes on my end and little things with the bike going wrong throughout the year, and all these little things they build up, and then
and then the next you jump to the 300. Did you manage to pull one there?
Yeah. So, well, I think I won the Clubman's on the 250 on short circuit. And then in between the first 150 championship and now there was a couple in between there, I think 3 or 4. Then I won the Clubman's on the 250 on short circuit. I think that was 2019. And it was 2019. I won the Clubman's on the 250. Then 2020, my first full year on 300s, I won the championship. And then I think I also won 150s that year. 2021, I won the 650 championship on main circuit. And I think I won the 150s again that year. Then 2022, I won the 650s again. But I don't think I did 150s that year. But me and Trevor won the endurance series championship on the 150s. So then we had a 4-hour race, and I think it was 2 4 hours and an 8 hour.
That's all.
So we won that endurance series that year. And then 2023. I won the 600 championship on main circuit, and I can't remember if there was any other that year. I don't think so. I know I didn't do the full year on the 150 that year. And then last year I won the Moto 4 championship on short circuit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Moto 4 is also one that's 150.
It's the one Moto 4's. I think it's a 180 to a 250.
Okay, I think you're in the championship for
again
this
so that's
year.
what I'm racing it again this year.
Okay,
so,
and I heard this weekend there's a possibility you could wrap it up.
It depends on a lot of factors out of my hands, but there is a chance. So my goal is to just go out there and get 3 wins, and we'll see what happens. It'll be nice. I was saying it. I think it'll be very weird feeling to win a championship in June.
I was going to say, it's a bit early.
It's very early.
Yeah.
I was looking through the points this morning or yesterday, just looking through, and I went, I started doing the math, and I was like, I could win it on Saturday. I was like, that feels very wrong.
Yeah,
very wrong.
The rest of the race day, you can just put golden numbers on the bike. I mean, that's a long time with gold numbers, which is pretty cool as well.
That bike we run 111 as well, so maybe I'll just rip 2 of the
one. Yeah, I would do it. I'd say to the guys, look, it's just
exactly.
Just one golden one coming through on the 180s.
Yeah, but so that'll be very nice. But
next question I'll ask you is, growing up at Kalani as well, I was a lighty. We used to cause a bit of trouble there on turn 3 and camping and stuff like that. I heard yourself and Jason Lenniker got into a bit of trouble with the scooter.
So
talk us through that.
It wasn't necessarily Jason, but it was Jason's scooter. So so the whole thing with that. So those years when I raced 300s, we would always be the first race in the morning and the last race in the afternoon. So we'd race at 8 o'clock in the morning and then 5 o'clock.
Nothing to do until 5.
So you have way too much time to do way too many things. So we ran out of stuff to do. So we would just go around and we'd ride the scooters and the pit bikes and everything like that. So the old abandoned motocross track and the 4x4 experience track at Kalani, we would take the scooters and all that and go through that. And we made our own little race track, almost motocross track on the 4x4 track. We had corners and jumps and everything. It was a jaw. So we had this one thing where we would jump out, and we'd done it with 1 person on the scooter, and we'd done it with 2 people on the scooter, and we were about to leave, and it was the last round, and this was the last time we were going to try. So we have to try with 3 people. So it was me I was riding, David Lindemann was in the middle, and Adrian Solomon was on the back. So as we came up to the face of the jump, Adrian bailed. He says he fell off. He says he fell off. I don't believe him. I think he did it on purpose.
Full eject.
So as he fell off, he pushed David forward. So then David pushed into me. So then I got shoved forward like this. So now my chest is on the bars. Now I can't. We landed, and my chest is on the bars, so I can't steer. And we landed in sand. So I just went over, and it just plopped over, and everything was good, and everything was fine. We were all laughing, and then I was like, my legs under the bike. I don't feel very happy about this. So I was like, I'm going to pull my leg out now. And I ripped my leg out and I looked down and I just saw white and just red around it. So my leg, there's about...
This is obviously before your race as well.
No, this was after. Thankfully, it was after all of the racing. And like I said, it was the last round of the year. So literally, if it was going to happen, that was the time for it to happen. But there was about like the ruler's length of my leg, of like the inside of my leg that was just all the way fried. So the inside of my right knee, all the nerves are dead. So like I can't feel anything. It's all numb. And then pretty much it's pretty faded now because it's been such a long time. But there's like a giant scar over like the inside of my leg because I had to get a skin graft.
So where did they take skin from?
From the top of my thigh.
And they put it over there.
Yeah. So there's like a longer rectangle and a shorter rectangle over here.
Is this the rugby?
Yeah, that's the rugby field Trevor was chatting to you about.
So I heard you want to get like a tractor.
Yeah, I wanted to get a tractor tattooed up there because it looks like someone's been like plowing through crops or something like that. So I was like, maybe
go for like a little tractor, a little Lamborghini. I don't know if you watch like Clarkson's Farm, he's a Lambo.
Yeah.
Something like that would be funny. Righto, then again, let's jump to these goals. Yeah, these big goals. The first 1,000cc race. Talk us through that. Was that a shocker moment for you, or is that what you expected?
It was. I learned so much that first race. Like it was completely different to anything that I thought it would be. Because I mean, also even just growing up, like I'd watch the thousands, and I'd be like they can't be that hard. Like you have so much power, just point and shoot. And I thought it would be okay. So the first race I did on the thousands, it was like a completely last minute thing. I did this endurance race. It was a 1 hour enduro. I did it with Slade van Niekerk on his ZX-10. So I wanted to do it with Trev on his bike. And we chatted about it. And then like on Friday, I was like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, we won't do it. And then Matt offered me to just ride his bike. Because I was doing there was 2 in 1 hour that day. There was one on a 300 and then the superbike one. So I was doing the one on the 300 with Adrian Solomon on his 400. And then I wasn't going to do the superbike one because it wasn't planned. And then Matt offered me to just go ride his bike. So, I mean, I hadn't ridden 1,000 before. And I went out and I think I did like a 15 flat or something like that on the ZX-10. And it was completely wrong setup and everything. Like it wasn't for me at all. And there was a bit of oil on the track in 5 as well. So I was very, very like chuffed with that. And then
you obviously say you did a 1 minute 15. So what is your current time now? Just so that people, obviously the viewers know, like what's a fast lap, what's a slow lap, like no one really knows, you know.
So my best lap time at the that I've done at the moment is a 1 minute 11.7.
So you literally took the horns of that bike then.
Yeah, no, it was quite a good jump, like the transition. Like it was just
because 1 minute 15 is probably some like mid-pack times.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, it's difficult to say if it was good or not because I mean, like on the 600 we ran 14s, but I was just happy as it was. So that race all happened. It was actually, but I'm super glad it happened because rather that than my first experience like with other bikes be in the race. But that race I had a really awesome day because then me and Trevor on his road bike. Now that also makes me upset. Trevor on his road bike, me and him were dicing. But in my defense,
I actually got this in my notebook here with all the things to say. Because Trevor was saying to me, please bring up that they managed to outbrake you on the road bike and you're on the race bike into turn 5, was it? I think it was.
I was 18 and I'd ridden 1,000 for a day. Okay, I'd done one session on 1,000 before then. I don't care. I'll defend myself. It's fine.
Well, look, I mean, the guys are always going to come up with some story.
No, you have to.
They're going to hold on to the old glory days.
You never let go of any moment that happens. Me and Tristan Pienaar, we were talking the other day, and I was bringing up stuff from 2019 that I did to him on the 150s. Like you always hold it against them because. Like, why not?
No, yeah.
It's just the Geese race.
That's it.
You remember that one time 5 years ago when I went around your outside? And then what do you say?
It's the same as me. Like, I raced the dirt carts, and one of the guy came to me, and I've missed the last 2 races. My brother got married, and I went on another bike trip with the family. And when I got back, the guy turned around to me. He said, "Jay, you've done one race. You still have more points than me." And I looked, I was like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I've only done one race, you know." But that's how racing goes, and they always hold it against you, or you hold it against them. So, yeah, I mean, like if you can pull one up on the mates, definitely.
You never let them forget it. Never let them forget it.
Or track cred.
Exactly.
The other one I wanted to ask you, we did briefly touch on it. I know that you said you might not be, but at the time when you raced your first time on a superbike, do you think you were the youngest at that time, or?
Well, I wasn't at the time because me and Tristan, we both started at the same time.
You're a bit older than Tristan.
Yeah, so I'm like I think 9 or 10 months older than him or something like that. But the both of us, we're two of the youngest. I'm not, like I say, I don't actually know. I might be the youngest who's won a race because I know Tristan hasn't won a race yet on Kalani's main circuit. But yeah, we were still, I mean, at 18 and I think he was 17 at the time. We were both riding thousands. Like it's like crazy. It's
crazy. You're not even legal to ride on the road, but you're Kalani going flat taps on these things. So. Yeah, no. Look, I've watched you a few times, and I've honestly seen you on coming past the main straight. I'm like, I can't do that. Not a chance, man.
No, but I mean, the thing it goes both ways. Like I look at the guys in the cars, and I was like, nah. I'd hit a wall. Like I'd hit a wall. It's that simple.
No, I think you're unkind to yourself. I think a lot of guys who ride bikes there. I've always said if you ride a bike, you can be quick in a car as well. You just got a good feeling for a machine.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who race cars and like GTI Challenge, and I have friends who race Polo Cup and stuff. And they say the same thing. They go like, "No, dude, like if you got in a car, you'd be fast." I'm like, maybe, but like I don't want to like be like, "Oh, I'll be fast." Like I know I don't want to discredit the skill it takes to be able to be fast in a car because
they both have their skill levels and stuff you get used to. I mean, you don't just jump in and be fast, but once you understand the track, understand your braking lines on the track, I think you'll be fine.
And I think just the nature of the driving.
Next thing I want to ask you is this year. Let's talk about what's going on with Team Wayward, Project 60 SA. What's going on this year? Where are you guys in the championship? What's going on? Because I know you race not this weekend coming, but the next weekend on. Where are you guys going? What's happening?
So at the moment, we are leading the championship by 12 points, I think it is. Okay. So it would have been more, but I may or may not have seen a flower in turn 5 and like really, really wanted to go look at it close.
But isn't that because there was the Lord Jesus decided to water the flower as well? It started to
rain and I got scared for the flower, so I wanted to go put a bike over it just to make sure it didn't get wet. No, I just simply got caught out by the conditions. It was drizzling from the start of the race, but it had kind of slowed down. So the track was getting a little bit better. And then I went, as I grabbed on the brakes into turn 5, like you can, because I had a little helmet cam for the whole crash, and you can see the spots just starting on my visor as we're running in. So obviously it was drizzling there and I hadn't realized. And I wasn't on the brakes anymore. I didn't have my knee down or anything. It was just like, obviously the track was a little bit wetter than I thought it was. And I just tucked the front.
I actually managed to, I think you got that video on your Instagram or something like that. And I actually saw it. You're literally coming in and just watch the front just go, zip.
Yeah, it was.
It just tips out. It just completely washes out.
I didn't realize what had happened until I was sliding on my side. And I was like, oh my gosh. The first thing I thought was points. That's every time.
It wasn't the first thing I thought of. Obviously, I came to the garage. I'm like, is he okay? He's like, no, he's fine.
I just went.
Bike's a little bit bruised, but
I just went fine. 25 points. I was so upset because I was just like, points.
Who came first in that race?
Ronald Slamet, the guy I'm fighting for.
Okay, so he must have loved you.
Yeah. So luckily, I still classified for that race because they didn't do the full race distance. So I'd done enough laps, or I don't even know the story.
I think it's would rain because it rained quite heavy. And I was here for that race. That was quite.
Yeah, no, it was raining bad, and we were all out on slicks. So like it was super super dangerous out there. I mean, the guys who didn't crash were saying that they almost crashed like so many times. Half the Oaks were putting their hands up halfway through the race trying to get them to stop it because it was just getting so bad. So,
yeah, I get that. I mean, like you guys got a little bit of tread there, but not enough to pull rain out there. I mean, not on these
cut slicks. Yeah. The second the track gets damp, it's like riding on ice. Like you have no grip. The wets, when you put wets on, you can put your knee down and everything like that. Because also the compound of the wet, its optimum working temperature is 40 degrees lower than on the slick. So the slick, you get your grip when the tire's like a lot hotter.
Yeah.
So when it starts raining and all that, the tire cools down a lot, and then it's like you're riding on ice. Well, on a wet, at that temperature you're running at, and also the tire is so much softer that it builds up heat a bit easier. You still actually have some grip.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then one of the other things I want to ask you was, you told me, I think you've taken these thousands to Aldo, if I'm not mistaken, or was that on the 350? Or
On the 300, I've been to
so that was the only time you've raced away from Kalani at the moment, eh?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're doing this on a mom and dad budget. Luckily, I've been super, super fortunate this year. I've had Planet Automation and Vision Fin come on board to help us out. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be racing this year like at all, because after last season we ran just us paying for everything, and it's tires and fuel and brakes and all that stuff, and we just can't afford to run it like that. So I've been so fortunate for them, because without them I wouldn't be out here today. I wouldn't have been riding today. I wouldn't have done the whole season. I wouldn't have had any of these opportunities. So so we now have enough to come just ride, but obviously to go race or do a round in PE or in Joburg or something like that, it's another 10, 20K you have to just throw down.
We just took the supercars up there. I mean, just to get the cars on the trailer was, I think, 10,000 or 5,000 rand just to get the cars up there. Not even race fuel, not talking anything else, not talking about accommodation, flights, anything. So, like, you're just in for 5 to get the car there. I mean, she needs her own ticket to get up there.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, that's what I'll say to everyone. I mean, look, the man, he's head of the 1000cc championship. You want to sponsor him, give me a call. I'll give you your number. Go for it. I mean, at the end of the day, racing is obviously not cheap. I mean, and it takes, obviously, it takes an army to race. And if you want to put your name on the side of a bike or side of a garage, you know,
on a helmet, on a car,
you pay for your space.
No, for sure.
Slade, you got the camera here. If there's any thank yous or anything you want to give to, and go for it. This camera's yours.
Yeah, of course, the biggest thanks when it comes to the racing is to my parents for obviously just allowing me to do what I love to do and making the sacrifices for me to race. So I mean, when I in the 2023 season when I raced the 600s, the year before we'd had a discussion, and I said to my mom and dad, I was like, don't buy me a 600, like it's too expensive, like I rather won't race main circuit for a year and we can do it the next year. And 2 weeks before the race, they surprised me with the bike. So like I can't like thank them enough for all the stuff that they've done to give me these opportunities. And next is obviously just Project 60. I mean, they've been there since I started on 650s, and since Project 60 started, me and Trev have been like together. I think besides Trev, obviously, I was the first Project 60 rider, and I've been with them throughout, and I plan to be with them in the foreseeable future. There's just not enough thanks. I mean, Trev always helps out. He'll every now and then, like if we need a tire, he'll be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, I'll get a tire. And he'll help us out with bikes if we need, if the bike breaks. He'll help us out with parts, like he'll borrow our stuff. Like he does so much. And then it's my other sponsors, Planet Automation and Vision Fin. Like I say, without them, I wouldn't be able to be out here today, or the whole year I would be sitting at home, probably a little warmer at times, a little bit happier, but overall a lot more upset.
Or would you rather sit at home, or would you be on your bike?
Exactly, be on the bike. Even in the rain, in the freezing cold. Just
better than a good day at home.
Be in the bike, so yeah. And then also, like my sister, she's always there supporting me, like throughout everything, even though she lies before interviews, and that's okay. Everyone has their faults.
Okay, once again, Baker, thank you for everything. I'm sorry for interrupting your meeting, but thank you for all the information you gave me today.
All lies, false news. And then like my friends that are there they come down all the time to watch me race and like support me, like all of them. I really it helps you. It also makes the whole experience so much better knowing that you have all these people behind you. Yeah. Like it just makes it like it almost feels like you're doing it for a purpose rather than just like for fun. Like you have a reason to go out and push to win because you have all these people that are there supporting you. Like gives you a bit of like a motivation type of thing. So like it's all appreciated.
And lastly, what does the future hold for Slade van Niekerk? What does it hold for him?
Hopefully a chartered accountant's degree. And then when it comes to racing, I don't know. I'm just whatever. I've taken a bit of a stance at the moment of racing of I'm just gonna go out there and just enjoy myself as much as I can, because that's all you can really do. Because we've obviously there's so many things I'd love to do. Like I'd love the opportunity to go race overseas, and like so many people have spoken to me about it. And the big problem with all racing is it just money. So I'm so, like I said, I'm so fortunate and so blessed to be able to do what I am doing now. So if next year I'm doing the same thing, like I'll be happy. If another opportunity comes along and I get that chance to go do something more, like I'll take it with both hands, and like I'll do the best that I can and give 110%, like I always do. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying myself and trying to enjoy what I do, and I think I'm succeeding in doing both of those.
Awesome. Look, I think I'm gonna have to cut it there on the video. But Slade, thank you very much for having you. Thank you for sharing a bit of your life and a bit about your racing history and some of your moments in life that your sister and everyone told me. I really appreciate everything like that. So, guys, if you ever down at Killarney, come watch this guy. He is one of the fastest chaps I've ever seen around Killarney, and hopefully you're going to be soon champion in 2025. So if you guys are a big supporter of the 111, hold thumbs. And once again, for Everyday Heroes, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Oh, wait.